Hello again. In this tutorial I'm going to teach you how adjustment layers work in Photoshop. Now over in the layer panel I got two layers going on right now. I've got our balloon layer and I've got our background. Now adjustment layers are usually right here, and there's a whole bunch of different ones you can choose from. They control hue and saturation, brightness and contrast. You can make stuff black and white, apply all sorts of filters that are going to have meters that you can play around and adjust how extreme the filters are. So let's just go with a black and white one for now. So as you can see, I've got a new black and white adjustment layer now in my layer panel, and it is applying the black and white effect to all of the layers below it. If I were to drag the balloons above, now it's only applying to our background. So that's something to keep in mind with adjustment layers. It's going to apply to everything below them unless you tell it to do otherwise. Now let's say I only wanted the black and white to apply to my balloons, but for whatever reason I needed to keep this background layer at the bottom. What I could do is select the black and white layer, come up to its adjustments up in the properties window, and I'm going to click on this icon here that's going to tell it to only apply to the layer directly below it. So once I click that, it adds this kind of little arrow icon telling it only apply to this layer right here. And as you can see, we have a black and white hot air balloon deal going on now. So I'll just show you some other ones real quick so you can get a sense of what these can do. The hue and saturation is really fun if you wanted to adjust all of the colors. There is vibrance, which is really good if something looks a little bit dull. You can pop up the colors. You can also play with the saturation if you want to give it a more dramatic look. A very popular one is curves. This lets you adjust the lighting in your picture. So if you click anywhere on this little graph and start dragging around, that brings down our blacks, or makes them more severe, I guess. And this brings up the highlights. And so this is a really common one to use for photography. But there's a whole bunch in here that are fun, and as you can see, you can stack these on top of each other to get some really cool effects. I like the gradient map one a lot. That one looks cool. And then if you don't want one of these, you can just start deleting them or toggle the eyeball on and off to see if you like them. Another thing to note about adjustment layers is that they all come with a mask automatically. So let's say I have my black and white here, and I really want this balloon to be in color, but the rest of the balloons I want in black and white. So I could select this mask, come over to our brush tool. I've got black selected, so it's going to remove from the selection, and I'm going to brush that balloon out. You can see there's now a tiny little black balloon on the mask showing where I brushed away that adjustment layer. So that is how to use adjustment layers in Photoshop. If you have any other questions or would like one-on-one help, come to the Multimedia Lab. Thank you.